Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Empowered Era. I am your host, Victoria, and I'm so excited to be back behind the mic because this episode is actually a special one for me, y'all. So, if you've been following along, you may have noticed that I did take a little break, which was about 2.5 months. And honestly, it wasn't anything that I planned, it kind of just happened that way. So, back in May, I was getting ready for my sister's her graduation and then the graduation trip to the DR that I was planning. So a lot of my time went into that, and then obviously my other businesses. So, we went on this vacation. I took some time away from my normal routine, meaning I didn't take my MacBook, which y'all that know me know that I always have my MacBook because no matter where I'm at, I'm always working. But for this trip, I'm like, no, I'm going to be fully present. I'm not going to be working, all the things. So I left my MacBook at home. So when I came back, I realized something. And that was that I didn't feel the immediate need to jump back into the hustle of doing this podcast. Now, again, y'all that know me know I have my own body contouring studio. Summer is always our busy season. I have a book club, a walking club. I have my other, again, Women Empowerment Wednesday podcast. So literally, and then I'm a coach, a mindset coach, business coach. So literally, I'm always on the move, going, always doing something. But when I came back, I slowed down, and it was extremely different for me because, again, for years, I'm always doing different things, building businesses, creating content, serving clients, hosting events, launching a podcast, and just constantly trying to create opportunities not only for myself, but for the people around me. So, with me always creating different things, people ask me all right, what's next for Victoria? What are you doing next? Because literally I'm always doing something. So in my mind, because I'm a creative, what can I build? What can I create? What can I accomplish? And while all these qualities have helped me get me to where I am today, without a doubt, I also realized that there were seasons where I was running on empty, right? And I was creating from being exhausted. So it was showing up from pressure instead of me actually having a purpose. Still great intentions across the board, but it's just how I felt in the process of creating. So during this little break I had, I felt like God was reminding me sometimes the most productive thing that you can do is rest. And it's crazy because right before the trip, there was a couple sermons that I came across. Social media was coming across. It's all right, Victoria, you just need to rest. And I feel sometimes, especially as a mom, we feel we get guilty around resting, and we really shouldn't because our body needs us to rest. And an analogy that I had came across was that when you exercise, you tearing muscles, you out there pushing yourself to the max. But the actual growth doesn't happen in the moment that you're doing that. The growth happens in the moments that you're resting. So that was something that I'm oh, it's an aha moment. Maybe Victoria, maybe you do need to sit down and just kind of chill. For sure. And so that's why even for my walking club and my book club, it's no pressure. So it's I can read. I love reading, y'all. I've been a reader since I was a little kid. So getting back to things that makes you pause, but are still enjoyable are so important and so key in life. So, I just wanted to share some things that I learned about me with the slowing down process. So, because I honestly believe that some of the biggest growth, again, in our seasons, in our lives happens in seasons where we're not doing more, but we're becoming more. So the first lesson that I learned and that I absolutely love is that I don't get hung up on the small things anymore. Me, throughout my entire life, if it was just any small inconvenience, I wouldn't be able to move forward. I wouldn't be able to adjust. So I feel this is a quality that's going to save me so much time and cause me to be more productive than what I already am. And so things that, again, used to consume me don't have that same power anymore. Whether it's a delayed response, a random change of plans, something that's frustrating that's been brought to my attention, or even somebody else's opinion. Again, those small things, I used to allow them to take up so much space in my mind. And I think that a lot of us do this is because we're already carrying so much. So sometimes it's not the one thing that breaks us down. It's an accumulation of everything that we're already holding on to. But again, I've learned that every situation does not deserve my energy. Every problem does not need an immediate reaction. Every inconvenience does not need me to take that on as an emotional burden. So now I ask myself, is it worth disturbing my peace? And most of the time the answer is no, because my peace is too valuable. Lesson number 2 is that I've experienced more peace than I have in a very long time. And this is probably one of the biggest things that I've noticed. I've been at peace, not because everything is perfect, not because every problem has disappeared, but because I stopped trying to control everything. And, right now, as a side note, I'm reading the book, Let Them by Mel Gibbons. And what I love about the book is that it reminds us, again, like what I'm talking about now, is that you can't control everything. So let people be people, let them, but also let me. So if y'all haven't read the book, it's what we're reading right now for the book club. So definitely check it out, either with us or just individually, but I highly recommend. But anyway, so for so long, and I still feel this way, I feel like everything depends on me. My business, my finances, my future, my responsibilities, right? And that weight can be exhausting. Especially, I'm an older sibling. I'm a mom. Again, I'm a business owner. So a lot of the times, I feel like all the responsibility does fall on me. But again, the season reminded me that I can work hard and I can still surrender. I can have goals, but I can also trust God. I can have a vision and still allow things to unfold in His timing, right? So there's a difference between being intentional and constantly being in survival mode, y'all. I don't want to build my life from survival. I want to build it from peace. So that's another lesson that I learned. Lesson number 3 is slower mornings changed my life. I didn't realize how much I needed slower mornings until I actually gave myself permission to have them. And when I tell y'all, those mornings I'd be waking up slow, just kind of taking my time, listening to my music, my affirmations, kind of just moseying through, but still being productive. Game changing. So for years, I would just wake up immediately, start thinking about everything that I need to do. Emails, clients, content, business decisions, responsibilities. My mind would be racing before my feet hit the floor, before I was even up for, I would say 15 minutes. I'm already in go mode, okay? So slowing down has allowed me to reconnect with myself. I read in the morning now. I pray and do my Bible study. I have those quiet moments and I just sit and again be present and thankful and show gratitude for what I have today. And I learned how you start your day truly matters, y'all. The previous book that we read from the book club, shameless plug, was called The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. And it's a book that I'll probably read over and over again. 10 out of 10. Excellent book, right? And it's called the 5 a.m. Club. However, it's not about always waking up at 5 a.m., but being extremely intentional with that first hour of your day. What are you doing that first hour when you wake up? So again, shameless plug for the book club. If you want to enjoy or join the Empowered Her pages, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, but definitely check that book out. So, we live in a world that celebrates being busy, but busy doesn't always mean you're fulfilled. Sometimes, again, peace looks like a quiet morning. Sometimes success looks like having time to breathe. Seriously. Number 4, rest is productive. Again, like I spoke on it earlier, this was hard for me because I'm always used to being on the go. I used to feel guilty when I wasn't producing. If I wasn't posting, creating, working, checking something off my list, I felt like I was a loser and I was falling behind. And I'm just keeping it real with y'all. But again, I realized something, that rest is not the opposite of being productive. It supports it. God created rest for a reason. Even Jesus rested. So why do we convince ourselves that we are exempt? In those resting moments, that's when I get my messages from God. That's when you get clarity. That's where creativity comes from. You can't get that when you're constantly always moving from here to there, from here to there. So during this break, I realized that I wasn't losing momentum. I was gaining more alignment for what I truly needed to do. Lesson number 5 was growth doesn't always look like achievement. I think, we've been conditioned to measure growth by accomplishments, whether that's a new job, some more money, more followers, and more recognition, right? But growth doesn't always look like something that you can post. Sometimes it's setting boundaries. It's choosing peace. It's walking away from things that no longer serve you, spending time with God, something as simple as reading a book, taking care of yourself, learning how to respond differently. And sometimes growth is quiet. Sometimes nobody sees it but you. But that doesn't mean that it's not happening. And that's a key reminder. The next lesson is protecting my peace is more important than proving myself. Again, this is a big one because this season really taught me that I don't want to spend my life proving my worth to other people. Not in relationships, not in business, not online, social media, not to people who have already decided how they see me, right? I've spent years building, rebuilding, pushing through things that people may never fully understand. Being a teen mom, navigating difficult seasons, starting over, learning who I am outside of what I accomplish. And I've realized that I don't need everyone to understand my journey because they won't. I just need to stay aligned with what God called me to do because peace is very expensive. And I'm not giving it away anymore. I'm just not. I'm really locked in. I'm really focused on what my purpose here in life is, beyond my family and all the things like that. So it's just I don't have time to be focused on what other people think. And then the last thing that I really learned in this season is that the right things don't require me to force them. And again, this has been another big one for me. And it's crazy because, again, I got all this information while I wasn't working. While I was resting, I'm getting all these moments of clarity about, maybe this is why this is going on. Or if I do this, I'll get a better outcome. But it's only because I took that time to rest. But, I spend a lot of time trying to make things happen. If I want them to happen on my time, my outcomes, the right doors I feel like should open. And I'm learning the difference between having effort, giving effort, and then forcing. So effort means that you're showing up. You're being consistent. You're doing your part. And forcing more so means that you're operating from fear. And I don't want fear to be something that drives my decisions. Because at the end of the day, what God has for me will require faith, but it won't require me to lose myself. And so those are my lessons that I wanted to share with y'all. But during this season, it's been absolutely beautiful, especially with resting. The summer, I've really been able to enjoy it. Y'all know I love being by the water and the mountains. And I've been at the beach at least 1 to 3 times every week, just kind of out there journaling, reading my book, enjoying my own company, going with friends. It's been really, really nice. The walking club has been a blessing. It's been growing. I'm so happy that I collaborated with another fellow business owner that I respect, with that as well. Just creating a space where people can come together again, move their bodies. We can connect and build that community. And this just reminded me that impact isn't always about having a huge platform. It's getting a few people together and to create that safe space. Book club, also something I have absolutely enjoyed this year. Because again, reading, I was big on reading. Loved reading. And as you get older and there's responsibilities and stuff, you kind of get away from the things that you love. And so the book club holds me accountable of reading. And it's been nothing but a blessing, to be able to get that love for that back. And so just again, being able to bring women together, have these conversations, encourage growth, is just rewarding. There's been a lot of work behind the scenes for the Empowered Era with the website, new program I'm launching. Like, it's crazy, and it feels like such a reflection of what I'm going on and the vision that's been placed in my heart. I've also been doing mentorship programs. Like, y'all, when I say like I've been busy, it's been a lot. And I'm just so thankful that the right people have been placed in my life to walk this journey alongside of me. And the impact that I'm making, I'm forever grateful for it. So when I gave myself that room to think, that room to pray, that room to listen, that's what rest gave me. It gave me so much clarity. But I won't bore y'all with anything else. I'm on here just chatting. So if you're listening to this and you've been feeling guilty for slowing down, I want to remind you, you don't have to earn your rest. You don't have to prove your value through being exhausted. You don't have to constantly be producing to know that you're worthy. 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, I thought I was taking a break from work. And when I look back now, I believe God was giving me a break from the version of me that I thought I always had to be working to be valuable. And I don't want to go back to that. I want to continue to build. I want to continue to dream. I want to continue to serve my community. But I want to do it from a place of peace. So as a reminder, take that vacation, read that book, go on that walk, spend time with God, and create space. And also listen. Because sometimes the breakthrough you've been praying for comes when you finally slow down enough to hear it. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who you may feel like needs the reminder. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you're listening to podcasts, whether it's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or iHeartRadio. And stay connected because there's so much more coming. The new website, mentorship opportunities, walking club, book club, everything. But until next time, y'all, protect your peace, trust God's timing, and keep stepping into your empowered era.